What's up, everyone? This is Christian Duke. You're watching Strength Addicts on Instagram Live, brought to you courtesy of BlackstoneLabs.com, the holy grail of bodybuilding supplements. Guys, I know I say this a lot, but I'm going to say it again and again and again and again. If you're looking to get involved in the fitness industry, there is no better way to do so than by applying to join the Blackstone Labs Legion. Do so. But don't say I'm going to do it tomorrow or next week. Do it right now. Be like Big Frank the Tank. Join the Legion. Also, big thank you to our supporting sponsor, TitanMedicalCenter.com, for all your hormone replacement therapies, glutathione, injectable vitamins, and the ECA Plus stack that is taking the fitness world by storm. Head on over to TitanMedicalCenter.com. So, guys, I'm really excited because, I've been looking at Jackie's post for quite some time. I spoke to Jared today, Jared Brown, Legion Extraordinaire. And he told me that Jackie's been a part of Legion for a long time. And so today I'm just super excited. I got Big Frank the Tank is in here. We got JD Fox. We got Fit Tina here. And it's going to be a really good interview because I want to ask our guest, how she came to discover the Legion and what she thinks about being in this program. Also her favorite supplements and her goals. This is somebody that really truly loves to train. And you can see it from looking at her page. So as soon as she jumps in here, I will start. The interview prior to this one was with Ashlyn Little, IFBB Pro. And that was a really good interview. Ashlyn is a bikini pro. She's a co-host of the Center Stage podcast. She's a coach. So be sure to check that out at Strength Addicts IGTV. We got Kim Fit Ass Haynes. We have one half of Muscle Talk, the brand new show at Muscular Development. Chris the Goon Griffin is in the house. So Chris, thank you so much. Chris will soon be moving down under to Australia. So got to enjoy him as much as we can here in the US of A. I may actually go to Boston and meet him, but I want to meet him when I'm like somewhat slim because I want to take a picture next to him and look like a badass. You know what I mean? So let's bring Jackie on and talk all things. We got Vic Garcia is in the house. What's up? Little peck bounce there. Nothing major. What up? How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for doing this. I asked you today. You did it today. It's like awesome.
Yeah, all worked out.
You got a cool chair. It looks like you're flying a plane. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's my gamer chair.
Very nice. Very nice.
So,
So Jared says you've been in the Legion for quite some time. How did you come to discover the Legion? When and where?
so it was 2019 at the Fit Expo is when I was brought on. And from there on out, like I got signed up with the discount code. And so the first product I tried, I believe, was Just X and cotton candy. And I fell in love with the product ever since then.
Very cool. Very cool. So what's your I guess like what do you train for? Do you train because you love how it feels? Do you train for a sport? Do you compete? Do you ever want to compete? What's the story with that? Because your Instagram is, tried and true. Lifting is your passion. That is one thing that I think anybody that goes to your page can walk away with knowing.
For me personally, I don't think I could ever compete in powerlifting or bodybuilding. I like to compete with just myself. That's like a big part of it. Yeah, I definitely just I like the feeling of just like letting out everything on the iron. Just like if it's a bad day at work or just, you're fighting your inner demons, like the weights are always going to be there for you.
So the challenge is interesting. So I like how you answered that, honestly, because usually when I ask that question, I'm expecting someone to say, roller derby, physique-based sports, powerlifting, strong person. I say strong person because like it must be weird for a woman to say I compete in strongman, but you know what I mean? Like, but it is interesting though because it's a challenge with yourself, and there's so many ways to challenge your yourself. I know that sounds redundant, but there's so many ways you could do it through endurance, you can do it through weight, you can mix it up. I mean, there's probably times where you don't really want to train, but something like gets you in there, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, part of it is the aesthetic. It's like a mix of aesthetic and strength for me. I did have a recent injury it was last month. So definitely just trying to live safely too is a big part of it. That's like my biggest challenge right now is kind of working around the injury.
But when you're in there though, like, I don't know if you want to share the injury, but the funny thing about injuries though, and I say funny because it's a strange adjective for it, but it is funny in the sense that, like, I'll give you an example. Mike Eli. They call him the Cleveland Creation. Good friend of mine from Cleveland. This guy's a monster. I mean, Chris Griffin knows who that is. Absolute monster. And a few years ago, he got injured. He had a pec tear, but he had a pec tear doing 135. Like he was doing his warm up set, and he, he does his warm up set. He does all his sets perfectly, but especially his warm up set. But people oftentimes think injuries are the product of insanely heavy lifting or burning through like forced reps. Sometimes injuries happen when you are lifting safely. They're so unpredictable. They just happen. So if you want to talk about yours, that's totally fine. If not, I understand, because sometimes people don't want to talk about that stuff.
Yeah, for me, it was a deadlift, which was my favorite exercise. I think now it's kind of not because I can't do it, but it was just too much weight. I'm not going to lie on that part. I did lift. I'm like, oh, I can just slap on, 10 more pounds and I'll be fine. But, one day it moves like butter and the next day you're just like you just couldn't do it, which I'm not afraid of failing, but yeah, that's just how I tweaked it. So.
And it's interesting because there's like the good pain, there's the bad pain, and it's so hard sometimes to differentiate the two. Like, is it, is it laziness? Is it inertia? Is it self-doubt? Or is it your body saying, look, Jackie, like for real, you need to stop, and that's where I think, ultimately it comes down to knowing your body. Like nobody knows your body better than you.
Yeah, absolutely. That week when it first happened, so everyone's like, oh, did you hear the pop? And the rest of that day I was fine. Like I didn't have the pop. It was like later on where I just was like, okay, like I can't do this. Like it's affecting my day to day. But I've been to a doctor and she just said like, don't lift heavy this week. I feel like I'm getting better every day. I tried out cryotherapy, the chiropractor. So I feel like there's always options out there and that you will recover just regardless of what path of recovery you can take.
Definitely. I want to say what's up to everybody in the house. We got Rocco G, one of the most aesthetic physique-based athletes, missing a waist. He has no waist. This guy's insane. We got Mike Lepre. We got Casey Fitmaster, NorCal, Kim O'Connell Fit, Megan, OmniMuscle. OmniMuscle is always, I don't know if you follow OmniMuscle, but he's like one of the most supportive people in the Legion, which is super, super cool. 82J Fit from Nashville. Actually, not from Nashville. You're from somewhere in Tennessee. But I will be in Nashville this weekend for the Rumble in the Borough. But so, you're talking about deadlifting. What are some other lifts that you like? Because that right there, I think, separates a lot of people. I don't want to say the big boys and girls from the little boys and girls. I don't want to I don't want to humiliate people, but deadlifts, that's a pretty serious exercise. So do you squat also? Do you bench? Do you do pretty much all those core lifts?
I do. Yeah, I do all the compound ones. I've been doing more like machine stuff. That's just not too hard. Like I tried doing the upward seated leg press for glutes, and that one was like affecting my lower back. So I also really like dumbbell shoulder press. That's probably my second favorite.
Very cool. And yeah, Rocco says deadlift is king. What I like about Rocco's physique though too, and I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but he's got a perfect V taper, and that is so hard because it's like, I think the temptation with being in the gym is going ultra heavy, and unfortunately when you go really, really heavy and you don't focus on the aesthetics, you can become very blocky. It happens, You have a great physique too, which is why I wasn't really sure if you competed or not. And I've actually noticed, Jackie, that there's some folks that they have multiple Instagram pages, and one is for the competitive side, let's say they're bikini or figure, it's all stage shots, and they have another Instagram, it's all gym shots, and so they kind of keep both worlds separate, and that might be a great way to grow an audience. I don't know, because a lot of people don't understand what competing is all about, anyways. But you just have a look like you could compete, which I think is interesting that you don't want to compete, or that you don't want to compete on stage. It sounds like you are competing with yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I've always thought about it. I mean, I don't want to let someone else's story define mine, but I just know it does affect you for sure for life. Like once you do it, your relationship with food is not going to be the same. And it just really, it takes a lot. I definitely respect anybody. Like you said earlier, when you realize anyone who's been on stage, even if you place 11th or last or you win, that's insane to me. That's insane to even get up there.
Well, I've done so many interviews, and PJ's wanting me to get on to 250, and I that's the goal. But I'm totally down for doing a show, and I mean I'll totally take that last place. I would love to take it just to say I got on stage, because after doing so many interviews, it's just I want to feel, I have a lot of knowledge through others' experiences, but I just want to experience it. I think it'll also like give me a certain added edge as an interviewer or whatnot, you know. But with you, how did you discover the weights though? I mean, like, did you play sports in school, or I mean, because it, I would be very interested into knowing how you got involved with, I mean, especially some of these more intense lifts.
Yeah, I mean, it all started 6 years ago, just kind of yo-yoing from, thin to a little overweight and just kind of every side of the spectrum I could say I've pretty much been on, maybe except for obese. But I just wanted to, I mean, it all kind of started honestly with a flat stomach, which I found is really hard for me to obtain.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've always just gone for like, oh, like I want to be this. When I have this, I'll be happy. When I have, I weigh 115, I'll be happy. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I think the number on the scale, especially when you've been lifting for a while and it puts on more mass, like you have to not be afraid of gaining weight in the end.
Definitely. Yeah. And I want to say hello to X20, or that's 200. I'm illiterate. X, he's lifting. So that's motivation. We got Todrick in the house, and we got Caitlin Ray of Sunshine in the house, and um, just everybody welcome. But yeah, I think what you're talking about is really like insightful. Also, the relationship with food that you had mentioned earlier, you know, because a lot of people are just, they're terrified of the scale, and they're terrified if they gain weight. They're terrified if I mean, if everything just does not go 100% to plan, it's like the end for them. You know what I mean? And I think it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, it is, but it also isn't. There's ways to fix it. And so I definitely echo you on that. I think that's really, really important. And when it comes to the gym though, like when you go in there, like what's your mindset like? And I'm not trying to like over complexify something that may be simple, but I don't think it is simple, because like for you, I think it's like a therapy in a way. I think for a lot of people, it's a therapy in a way. It's like, it's almost like analogous to going to a psychiatrist. Like you get all, I mean, it's true. You get all this stress out. You walk out with all these endorphins kicking. It's like a natural high. I mean, like, what do you like? What's going through your mind when you're going in?
Definitely. I try to leave everything at the door. I just go in there like my body's burning and just like ready to kill my lift. And then I'm usually starving like halfway through. I'm just like ready to kill like a bomb meal after. But yeah, I definitely like to just challenge myself. Like I was saying, just I always do want to be a bit stronger than I was. I mean, now it's a little more harder with my back, but try to just be like, last week was 30s for shoulder. Let's try 35, even if it's for 4 or for 1 or for 2, see if I can get it up there. I just like the thrill of all that, chasing the
No,
numbers
for sure.
sometimes.
No, for sure, for sure. And the only other thing I wanted to say about relationship with food, and it's not just because he's here, but like Todrick does these like bowls, like he does these fruit bowls like for the week. And all he does in the morning, I believe, I may be mistaken, but in the morning, all he does is he adds a little bit of yogurt, a little bit of granola. But besides that, like they're pre-made. He's got all his meals pre-made. Now, I don't believe that he competes. I think that one day he wants to compete, but I don't think he actually competes right now. But I do like that structure. Like I do think that's important to have that structure, you know, and I like the consistency, you know. But with you, what I like also is that it seems like the gym is not like, it's not like an obligation. It's like something that you do for fun. And I think all of this can be summed up if you enjoy it. If it makes you happy, that's all that you need. You know what I mean? Um, with you though, speaking of structure, are you like a morning lifter, an evening lifter? Do you just randomly lift? Like what's the are there rules, I guess, to your lifting?
Yeah, for me, I usually always just dip out of work and then go around like 3:30 or so, maybe start by 4. Um, on my days off, yeah, I still end up going like, oh yeah, I'll go at noon today, and then I just kind of like, I always like to go around the afternoon time, like right before 5 when it gets really crazy, and I'm like, let's get out because now it's
Yeah, for sure. Now, do you feel the need to like wear like headphones, or just like blast music, like because I feel like I think it's great to have like the music of your choosing, because a lot of gyms play some really really cheesy music. Like I mean, I got nothing against Lady Gaga, but like if I'm like squatting or benching, I don't want to hear her sing about some dude named Alejandro. You know, I want to like listen to some metal or something. So I guess the music selection is good, but I've also noticed that a lot of people are indifferent when it comes to music, but they actually put the headphones in so that folks won't bother them. Does that is that you or no?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. That's funny you say that. There was a time I was deadlifting back in like 2019. I distinctly remember my headphones dying and I had to deadlift to Ed
Mm,
Sheeran, and I was just like, I can't. But as far
yeah.
as my music playlist, it varies from like alternative to just like rap, I guess. And then I really like EDM, like the heavy,
Hmm.
like rap EDM.
Yeah, EDM is great. I think EDM is there's so much like to me it's like psychology infused rave music or something. There's just so much going on. And then you have to like I think like a really like I don't know, experienced cultured EDM listener can hear things that the average person cannot. You know, like programming type stuff. That's just really really cool. So yeah, Ed Sheeran's probably not something I want to listen to. You know what I mean? Like, or Dave Matthews Band or something like that. I just don't want to listen to. I mean, they're great artists, you know, but not. I want something like hardcore, you know. Um, so with the Legion though, so all these Blackstone Labs products, um, there's just so many things that you can use them for. I think you'd mentioned the dust earlier, but like for you, like, I mean, I could ask you your like top 10, top 5, but like what are some like staple, you know, supplements for you that you just have to have?
For me, it's definitely juiced up in the morning, Trojan Horse at night, Glycolog, creatine. And I usually do Dust X and Hype Reloaded together. Those are my favorites.
Wow. So you have like each part of the day kind of covered.
Yeah, and I tend to set my alarms for the Trojan Horse one because I always forget to take it late at night. So I'm like, try to set these alarms and try to actually take it because I mean, I feel like supplementation is always going to be second to hard work, but I think it still comes in as a key element for when you want
No,
to
for
build your
sure.
physique.
No, absolutely. And what's up, Chris? Chris from Florida, and we got Melda Bodyguard in the house too. Thank you for coming by. One thing that PJ says, and a lot of the Blackstone Labs Legion people say also, and I think they got it from PJ, but is that you take Trojan Horse at night, your body's burning fat while you sleep. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. You know what I mean? And what I like to do, I'll put like a little scoop of fiber in there as well, just to, you know, even like just add even more benefit to it. But I don't want to talk about too much of that because it's an odd topic, but you know, but like fiber and a probiotic, I mean, it's so important. It really makes a humongous difference. But like, just the idea that you can like burn fat while you sleep, it doesn't get any easier than that. And the lemon is really good, but for me, it's black currant and the sweet tea. Those two, it's like a tie. Like the lemon is a second. Because I mean, I do like the lemon, but it's a second. But the black currant and the sweet tea, like, I mean, like I could like literally like lick my finger and stick it in and just eat it like it was those what's that candy that comes in straws? You just like I don't know what that's called.
Well, a
You
pixie
don't
stick?
Pixie sticks, yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't look like you eat sweets at all, but you know what that's called, so that's good. Like your physique is really good, Jackie. Like seriously, and I think
Thank
that's
you.
why. Yeah, and I think that's why. I'm. What does he say? Black currant. Yeah, black currant is so good. I actually have to learn how to say currant because I wasn't even sure how to say it because I'm Spanish. You know, it's like I try English and then I try Spanish, and if I don't know, I just don't say it. So I was like that black one, yeah. But the thing is they're just so good. They're just so good. But your physique is really good, and I think yeah. I keep saying that because it's true. And I think do people ask you if you compete in the gym or no?
Not usually in person.
Hmm.
I think because I've had my location on at the gym, like people have been like, "I'm a coach. Like, ever thought about competing?" And I'm like, "No, not
Oh,
really."
geez.
Even if it was, I would want PJ to be my coach. Like,
Right,
obviously, that's like the
for
ultimate
sure.
goal.
No, yeah, for sure. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah. Because to me, for someone to walk up to you and say, Jackie, my gosh, you should compete, or Jackie, do you compete? To me, would be like the ultimate compliment without being like creep compliment, like, hey, how's it going? Are you singing? It's not like that, but like it's a good, honest physique assessment. You know, it's a good, honest, positive comment. But on the other hand, I hadn't thought of that. Some of the coaches can be quite aggressive in the gym. So if they come up to you, yeah, they're not trying to ask you out on a date, but they are trying to get you to hire them. And it's almost like a used car salesman kind of like vibe, you know? And yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah, that actually does happen quite a bit.
Yeah, that's like the snake oil salesman, I guess, of the bodybuilding industry. I think the second best compliment would be is accusing you of steroids. I think that would be the best
Yes.
compliment. If someone really thought you were juiced up, I'm like, no, this is 100% attainable. Like, I promise you, this is
Right.
attainable. If I can do it, you can do it.
For
Kind
sure.
of a
And
thing.
you know, yeah, and I love that you said that last. Well, I love that you say that it's attainable. I mean, with the Blackstone Labs line, I mean, some of the DHEA pro hormones are pretty strong, but I still consider that natural. But let's say even if you didn't touch those, if you just used like if you were just totally straight edge, let's say you didn't even use caffeine. Let's say you did juiced up. Let's say that you did Glycolog, there's no stims there. Let's say the Trojan horse, there's no stims there. Like totally straight edge. With those supplements, and they are secondary, but with those supplements and hard ass training and good diet, you could look to the point where people would accuse you of steroid use. You know what I mean? But the fact that yeah, but the fact that you say it's attainable, I think that's really cool because like it is, but a lot of times that doesn't actually get said. And like I don't know how people react to that, but it really does like come down to hard work. It really truly does, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to knock on keto and have everybody like come and flame me, but like, you know, just like the crash diets, I don't know if keto is technically a crash diet. Like it has its time and its place, I'm sure. But I feel like just you want to go for that lifestyle change. Just like still be able to eat a cheeseburger and, you know, still fit it into your macros. Like, you know, maybe do it as a lettuce wrap so you can still have the French fries. Just,
Right.
yeah.
I'm not a huge, I know PJ's had results with keto during different phases when he competed, and I know that some people have as well, but I'm not a huge fan of keto like indefinitely, just because like I think that's why Glycolog is so awesome. Because even if you do want to have a bit of sugar, like I think with Glycolog, I believe you have to have I believe it's 40 or 50 grams of carbs in order to take the three capsules of Glycolog or more. But Glycolog's fantastic. It allows you to have carbs, you know, and still not have like those horrible like sugar spikes that, you know, actually a lot of studies show lead to obesity, fat storage and obesity. So, but yeah, the only thing I don't like about keto, and some people do it forever, but it's all like the artificial sugar. So like those sugar alcohols, they will wreak havoc on your stomach. If you're doing pure keto, like, you know, like meat, eggs, cheese, you know, green vegetables, I guess that's okay. But it's all that artificial stuff. I mean, I don't want to get gross, but like you're gonna spend a lot of time in the bathroom, like a lot of time in the bathroom, you know? But yeah, there's just so many crash diets, and it's just funny because like I don't know if keto's a crash diet, but there's a lot of them out there, and they always promise you those first 10 to 15 pounds, but that's water, you know, it's water. But that's how they make their money, and it's like, yeah. And again, and it goes back to your whole thing of relationship with food, you know.
Yeah. At the end of the day, yeah, there's a lot of companies out there just trying to get like your coin. So I have like, that's why like fit teas are still in business too.
Hmm. That's like a whole other thing too. I mean,
Yeah.
like
Smith
fit teas. I mean, that's
Campers.
just basically Lipton. You know, what I mean, it's just you can go to Kroger, you can go to Whole Foods. There's nothing like special about those teas. It's just a bunch of crap. But the thing is, it's a lot of it is marketing. I think, to me, honestly, you know, you know, in a just and fair world, Blackstone Labs would be 10 times the size that it is. You know, just the liposomal technology, for example, like nobody does that. Like nobody that I know of does that. And so, but this industry is weird in the sense that, you know, supplements that are backed by science that actually work sometimes take a back seat to supplements that are just pure smoke. But just because the packaging is like looks like gimmicky, or there's like bells and whistles, or, you know, Joe Blow says it changed his or her life, you know, there's a lot of puffery, there's a lot of like, you know, exaggerating. So, you know, I'm actually sipping an energy drink that's known for that, but not yours. I don't know what super creatine is, but anyways, but the thing is though, but anyways, I'm just messing around. But the thing is, there's a lot of puffery though. I love Bang; it's good energy drink. But the thing is though, there's a lot of puffery, a lot of like, you know, fake expectations, and these coaches too. These coaches that walk up to you, like I think that there's a serious problem when you have a competitor that's like years away from a pro card, walks up to a coach and says, "Hey, I will hire you if you can turn me pro in 6 months." And that coach knows that that's impossible, but yet they take the money and they just like feed into this person's delusion, you know? So, anyways, so what are some goals for you, uh, Jackie Hall? And it's Haw, right? It's like
Yes.
Saw with an H.
Like yeehaw.
Yeehaw. There you go. Yeah, because everybody knows you on Instagram as Jackie Blue, right?
Hmm.
But you're
Yeah.
Jackie Hall. So if you want to like be on the in, yeah, you know, like you've known her for a long time, you must know the last name. Otherwise, you're just a faker. But like, what are your goals for the future?
For the future, I mean, right now is definitely like live safely, like maybe get like super strong again.
Hmm.
Um, Outside of the gym, I want to buy a Subaru.
Very safe.
Trying to
Very
trying to
safe.
chase, yeah, chase the money too.
Yeah. What do you do for work?
I'm a cake decorator full time, so
That's so cool. And is it So I worked at this is a massive drop from what you do, but I worked at Papa John's one summer, just, from, like a summer job. And I used to love pizza. After a week, I couldn't, I would need pizza if you paid me. But as a cake decorator though, do you ever get tempted? Because you're probably surrounded by sweets all the time, right?
Yeah, the biggest one for me is actually our breakfast. Like, I mean, who doesn't still love a croissant? Like, just the smell of like a croissant coming out of the oven. I'm just like,
Oh
there's
my
nothing
God.
better.
Super flaky and buttery. So
Yes.
good. You
Oh
could
my
eat it
gosh.
alone. So good.
Big
They're
old
so good.
croissant and bagel. Bagels are good.
Bagels too. Bagels are amazing. New York claims they have the best ones, but who knows? We got One-on-One Fitness, Nurse Kim in the house. K Lives Fit is here. Blackstone Labs Legion is here. So yeah, so Kim Fit Ass Haynes, of course, is here. I don't know if you know Kim Fit Ass Haynes. She's awesome, and I'm actually
Oh
interviewing
yeah.
her next week, so I'm super excited about that. But and then with the Legion though, I guess tell me like one last question, Jackie, because I told you, I think I said I lie to all my guests. I always say it's like 10 to 15 minutes. I'm sure we're like way past that. But like the Legion, what does the Legion mean to you? Because like I should ask everyone this question. And I'm just curious what it means to you.
Like it definitely just feels like one big family. Like there are athletes I've reached out to like in the beginning just about like when Harmonize first came out or their programs and everyone is just so welcoming. I think that's a huge part of it for me.
Definitely. And
It feels like
Harmonize, that's another one. Yeah, I totally forgot about that one. That's like for you guys that don't know, everybody should know. That's a product that Blackstone Labs came out with that's specifically for women. Like most companies will say women can take this or women could take this. This product is exclusively for women, which I think is so cool. So now now obviously you're on Instagram because we're here. Are you on other platforms? You have websites. You have a gamer chair. So are you like on
like
are you on
The
Twitch and
Twitching.
all that?
No, I don't have a Twitch stream. It's just going to be my Facebook and then I have the Cake Instagram, which doesn't have a lot of followers, but
What is the cake one?
that one's going to be Jacqueline's, which is JACLYNS_cakes. So
Very
that's like
cool.
my side one.
Very cool. And you know who you should talk to if you have the interest, you should talk to Alexis from Made to Macro because she has a lot of insights into small businesses. Like her company is just blowing up, and I'm sure that she'd be happy to give you like some tips because I think like cake decorating, like everybody eats cake, okay? Like if you're getting married, you're graduating, you're getting your IFBB Pro League Pro card, they go hand in hand with celebration. So anybody, even the people with the most hardcore diets, they want a good cake and they definitely want a good cake that's actually decorated, especially like if it, like fitting for the occasion. You know what I mean? Like too many minimalists. We got Austrian Powers in the house. This guy right here is with another company, but he's like so cool, so active, always doing lives, just the coolest guy. So and the White Monster, that is a good one. I like the Bang. I like Rock Stars. I drink way too many of those. Now I'll tell you one last thing. Uh, what was I going to tell you? It was about not drinking. Oh, so I tried Viper, Viper X. PJ sent me, and let me tell you, like I get so much energy off of that. I mean, it is insane. Like I get energy, but there's like so many other like herbs in there. Like I don't want to like be infomercially. I'm like so serious. Like the mental focus was like I don't want to say what it's comparable to, but let's just say it's pretty good. So yeah, I swear by these energy drinks, but like Viper X is like it's legit. So listen, I really want to thank you for doing this because I asked you today, we did it today, and like I said, I'm gonna chop this up and do reels and stories and all sorts of fun stuff. Please tag me though on all your posts and stories, and especially on the cake page. So you might be like, yeah, but that's a cake page. It's not bodybuilding. Totally tag me. Totally tag me. Now, are you going to be selling anything through that page, or is it more so pictures of your decorating skills?
No, yeah, I do work for a company, so it's just like pictures when I just kind of want that like nice feed,
Okay.
kind of like my
Your, your
side
side
thing.
hustle. Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Well, listen, I really appreciate it. Arson's almost done. That's pretty cool. I have never tried arson. Have you tried arson?
Yeah, arson, that one makes me sweaty for sure. That
But
one's
that's
intense.
good though. Yeah. They say breaking a sweat is like the most important thing. Like whatever you have to do, sit in the sauna, do cardio, lift, go out for a run. That's like a must. So I've never taken arsen, and it's interesting too because arsen isn't really per se a energy booster; it's a thermogenic. So like that makes sense. Like you probably feel like you're on fire. So hence the name. All right, but listen, but everybody that just came in too, you guys can check out what you missed on replay at IGTV and also on YouTube and Facebook. We're gonna make Jackie famous. So Jackie, thank you so very much for taking the time. For Jackie Hall, this is Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you.